Hey, so here I am again. So I just saw a video that kind of set me off a little bit. I'm kind of tired. I want to rest a little bit, but I do want to talk about this before I sit down because it's like fire shut up in my bones. So basically, a pastor of a church just made a video talking about this is what he said, and I'm going to go over each point. So he said that you are supposed to treat, the foreigner to your land kind, and you're supposed to be nice to them and this kind of thing. And he said because he has seen a lot of people crying because of the ICE raids and them being taken out of their homes. And he's talking about how Christians are supposed to act. Now, yes, the Bible does say to treat foreigners kindly, but the Bible also says that those foreigners are supposed to follow the laws of the land the same as the native people. And so that means that if you come into the United States, you are supposed to enter through one of the ports of entry. So if you don't come in through a port of entry, you've already come in illegally. And every country in this world is going to put you out. You are going to be fined, and it could be a stiff penalty. So that's number one. We are to treat the foreigner kind, but they are to follow the laws and customs of that native land that they have just entered into because they are strangers. It also says that the foreigner can stay, but they cannot bring any other God, that they cannot worship any other God. And it also says that they have to follow the laws that are put forth in that land. So this pastor said that one thing, but he didn't mention any of the other things that were given along the same lines that are throughout the Bible as a guideline for the children of Israel when they were taking in foreigners. So if you want to use that scripture, it's fine, but it's basically manipulation because you are not telling the whole matter. And the whole matter is you cannot have any other God, Muslim. You must follow the laws of the land, ports of entry. So basically, those people have broken both of those laws. And so the law of this land is that you come in through the port of entry. And if you don't, you have to be removed and sent away. Now, I don't remember seeing any people using this scripture when Barack was sending people out. I don't remember seeing, and he actually deported a lot more people. I didn't see anybody using that scripture. I didn't see anybody anybody using the scripture, manipulating the feelings of people or anything like that. But now, because it's Trump doing it, it's a problem. And so now what has happened is he's saying because the people were crying. So basically that is the flesh. So you're tugging on a person's emotions. Just because a person is crying, it does not mean that you allow them to break the law. People that kill people cry when the police pick them up. They are not crying because they broke the law. They're crying because they got caught. So they've been living here 15, 20, 25 years, never thought about, hey, why don't I become a legal citizen? Why don't I see if I can get a sponsor? Why don't I do this the right way because I love this land and I want to be a part of it? Instead of doing that, no, I'm going to just stay here, collect money, get paid under the table, get paid cash, send all that money home, and not care anything for the citizens of the U.S. Not care anything about putting a strain on the legal system, on the police officers, on the system as far as money is concerned, food stamps, medical, hospital, all that stuff. That is a strain, and that strain is passed right down to the taxpayers. No other country in the world would do this. God is a God of order, and he does everything decently and in order. This pastor is ignorant. And what it shows me is that he does not know the word and he has not encountered Jesus. The sad part is that most pastors have not. They have a title because they have learned a couple of flowery scriptures. They probably gone to seminary school. I know I pronounced that wrong. They have not encountered Jesus. They know a couple of scriptures, and what they're using is head knowledge. So what they're doing is going based on the flesh, because the first thing he said is that people are hurt. People are crying. Yeah? So what? Anybody that is caught committing a crime is hurt and they're crying. I've seen a million videos of people that have stolen something and have killed somebody, whatever the case is, and the moment they get caught, that is when that the tears start. They don't care about the fact that the citizens here have been burdened to the point of we have just been paying out so much in taxes and everything else. Now, of course I care for people. Of course I love people, but I hate that this has become a political talking point. It should not be a political talking point. This is common sense. You cannot go to any country in this world and pull what most people have done. You cannot. Some places, if you try to enter into their country through any other port than the authorized port of entry, some of them will take your life. But here, they are given a new life. And it does not matter about the people that have already been here, the people that have served as veterans and everything that are living off on the street. Because now what you have is a church divided. And so you have man's church, which would be the carnal, that one pastor, and then you have God's church, the one that understand law orderly and that you put scripture in proper context. You don't just toss something out there to manipulate and tug on the heartstrings of people. And so many people, what I did was I went to the comments to look for signs of life. And of course, 98% of those people were Democrats. And they all agreed and thought that it was common sense. But now, if I go and I insert all the scriptures that I just said, they're going to say no, that does not apply. But it does. You can't have one without the other. All scripture needs to be taken in context. And you also, when you're reading scripture, you need to consider the heart of God. And so God has always been a God of order. You can't get in heaven through the back door, and you cannot get into the U.S. through another point of entry unless you want to be put out. That's period. And I stand behind the president when it comes to that situation.